AITA for calling out my sister for not making her wedding accessibility friendly for family. For context, I, 34F, am a single mom to my daughter Mia, 8F. Mia has been disabled since the day she was born and needs wheelchair assistance and constant care. Whenever she is awake, I absolutely love her to death, and it's only been us during this entire journey. So I'm definitely super protective of my little girl. I also have a sister, Cassidy, 28F, who just called me about the logistics plan for her wedding in 6 months to her fiancé Max, 27M. She said the wedding was going to be at a beach near our city, and it will completely be held in the sand. Basically a 35-person ceremony right by the water, followed by a bonfire and barbecue also in the sand. She said she just wanted to let me know before she sent the official invite because of Mia. I truly have never been more shocked and disappointed in my sister. You would think she would at least check in with me before she reserved the beach space because Mia obviously can't come. And now she's only telling me because it's set in stone and there's nothing she can change. I tried explaining how hurtful this is to Mia because Mia loves her auntie. But she'll be absolutely heartbroken not being able to attend the wedding. It's already so difficult raising a child with disabilities without a partner. But when even family is this inconsiderate and cruel, it's truly the worst feeling. Cassidy immediately started deflecting, saying her and Max checked to make sure the beach had a sand-friendly wheelchair for me to rent, $110 per day. The audacity to ask your guests to be paying just to make it to the event. Especially when she knows I cannot afford this. Then she said how she will not change the location because her and Max met on this very beach and it has been their dream ever since to get married here after they also got engaged here. When I suggested she pay for the rental, she kept saying how her and Max already had to cut so much out of their budget and plans because they also can't afford much. Like, you're already paying for a whole wedding, but can't afford a rental for your family to come? I was talking to some moms of children with disabilities and they all agree that it sounds like Cassidy doesn't even want Mia there and is using all of this as an excuse. I'm thinking about just telling her that we won't be attending her wedding and supporting a person who's inconsiderate to her own family. So AITA? Sigh. I hate to say this, but YTA. Sorry. But they want to get married on this beach and this day is about them. They checked to make sure there was a beach-accessible wheelchair that could be rented, so Mia can come. As her parent, it's your job to make that happen if you want her to attend. It's their wedding, not yours, not Mia's. However, if you believe that she's truly doing this because she doesn't want Mia there, then you should obviously choose not to go. But it's not her responsibility to pay for your daughter's needs. YTA. I understand that Mia is the center of your world, but she is not the center of this wedding. The bride and groom have a location that is very significant to them. They want to get married at that location. That's far more important in the context of this wedding than whether the location is ideal for your daughter. It's disappointing that the location they wanted was not more accessible, but it's very understandable why they want this location. There is an accessibility option. You can see if the bride, groom or your family would be willing to help with cost. If not, 8-year-olds don't generally enjoy weddings anyway, even if they love the bride and groom. Adults often project that hurt onto kids, but kids view weddings differently, as a long, boring day. My 6-year-old niece reminds me regularly that while she loves me and is happy to be in my wedding, kids mostly hate weddings. So there's definitely a cap on how excited she's going to get. And if neither of those are good options, I am sure your sister would understand if you could not make it. Caring for your special needs child is an excellent reason to be unable to make a wedding. But the bride and groom are not off for wanting to hold their wedding at a location that is significant to them and their relationship. They are the center of this wedding, and their wishes take priority over just about everything else. YTA. Your daughter is not excluded. They checked for a wheelchair option. Your life may revolve around your disabled daughter, but you can't seriously expect your sisters to. She's got her own life to live. YTA. I was talking to some moms of children with disabilities and they all agree that it sounds like Cassidy doesn't even want Mia there. You were talking to people that were already biased, loudly crying. Of course they'd all agree with you. YTA. Your sister's wedding isn't about Mia. It's about your sister and her fiancé. The beach is very meaningful to them and she was kind enough to give you a heads up. Just say you aren't coming instead of throwing a fit because you aren't getting your way. I hate to say this, but YTA. Mainly because you are making this completely personal and making it seem like your sister planned this whole thing to ensure that your daughter wouldn't be able to attend. And then being angry because she wouldn't plan around you, your daughter, and because she won't pay for the accommodations that you need. Your sister discussed it with you prior to sending official invites. She is not obligated to plan her wedding around your child. Also, she is not obligated to pay for accommodations. Pretty sure Mia will only be hurt and think she wasn't wanted at the wedding. If that is what you convey to her, you have the right to decline the wedding invite, but you don't really have the right to vilify your sister. It's a tough situation, and it sounds like your day-to-day can be difficult. But it doesn't really sound like your sister is the villain you're convincing yourself that she is. Edit to add. Thank you for my first ever award. Kind stranger. I was talking to some moms of children with disabilities and they all agree that it sounds like Cassidy doesn't even want Mia there. YTA. Hello? Did someone order an echo chamber? Of course they agreed, but the simple fact is that you can still love someone and not be able to accommodate them. This is the beach where they met and is obviously hugely significant to them. I'm sure if your echo chamber friends could all stump up and help towards the $110 cost. She said how she will not change the location because her and Max met on this very beach and it has been their dream ever since to get married here after they also got engaged here. So Cassidy and Max picked a location for their wedding that has a deep emotional meaning to them. Her and Max checked to make sure the beach had a sand-friendly wheelchair and ensured that there were accommodations that would allow Mia to attend. When I suggested she pay for the rental. So this dispute is really, my sister won't pay $110 for a wheelchair for Mia to attend. YTA. YTA. You would think she would at least check in with me before she reserved the beach space because Mia obviously can't come. No, I don't think any person would base their wedding location on whether their niece could come. But they were thoughtful enough to find out that there was a sand-friendly wheelchair option available. But can't afford a rental for your family to come? Goes both ways. Gentle YTA. I have a daughter in a wheelchair and it's really freaking hard to be left out. That being said, please know that sometimes in life you have to accept that you can't do everything and that's just the way it is. Your sister has a right to be married anywhere she wants. Take a step back, breathe deeply and wish them a lovely time. I dunno if people are going to downvote me for this, but honestly, soft YTA here. I completely get that you're looking out for your disabled daughter. I understand that, but it isn't her wedding. It isn't your wedding. It isn't a family wedding. It's your sister's wedding. Do you think she should change venues altogether to accommodate one person? For any reason? No, she shouldn't have to do that. And she actually did make sure that the venue could accommodate a disabled person for the wedding. Maybe you can see if the whole family can chip in a little bit of money to pay for the wheelchair rental? That seems reasonable. But your expectation that your sister is going to change her whole wedding for one person, regardless of disability or ability, is not reasonable. YTA. It's their wedding day, at a place that holds meaning to them, not some random place. It is accessible in that there is an option. Your daughter's wheelchair needs are not your sister's fault or responsibility. You have 6 months to figure out $100 so your daughter can attend. This is on you. I understand them not mentioning it until it was set in stone. 2. Because they knew you'd act like a victim and try to make their wedding about you and your daughter. YTA. It's her wedding. The only family weddings are supposed to be about is the new one being made in the ceremony. It's literally all about her and whoever she's marrying. She made sure there is a wheelchair option there. Sounds pretty damn accessible. YTA. They didn't pick this place to spite you. They picked it because it has meaning. You want them to find a place that likely won't have any special meaning so you can save $110. Her and Max checked to make sure the beach had a sand-friendly wheelchair for me to rent. Sounds like they made a good effort to make sure Mia would be able to attend. The audacity to ask your guests to be paying just to make it to the event. Like when guests are expected to drive to an event or buy an outfit or possibly lodging in some cases. It's pretty common. I truly mean this with all the empathy in the world. But YTA. There was nothing inconsiderate and cruel about your sister's actions. She and her fiancé are having a small ceremony at a location of emotional significance to them. She researched and made sure there were accommodations for your daughter. $110 isn't cheap, but couldn't you speak with family about getting some support? Could this rental be in lieu of a wedding gift? This reads like someone who has a victim mentality and only communicates with folks who will validate their feelings. Your friends are wrong. If your sister didn't want your daughter there, she wouldn't have done any research about the beach wheelchair. You should always advocate for your daughter, and it's awesome that she clearly has a mom who supports her. But there is a difference between advocacy and entitlement. There is an option to accommodate your daughter. You are the one choosing not to explore ways to make that accommodation work. This day isn't about you and your daughter, it's about your sister and her future husband. Info. Why on earth would you think your sister's wedding would be centered around your daughter? She even looked into accommodations to make it possible for Mia to attend. She showed consideration. Are you truly upset because your sister didn't get your permission before selecting her wedding venue? That sounds pretty far-fetched. What's actually the issue here? I understand Mia is your world, but your sister is marrying her future husband in her ceremony. Unless she was asking for Mia to be a flower girl or something else as a part of the ceremony. The wedding is hers and is about her and her future husband. Not you. And not Mia. Sorry. But with the information here, YTA. I can empathize with your feelings here as the father of a disabled child. But your sister, on her wedding day that you are not paying for, does not owe your daughter any special consideration that day for her need of a chair. She even gave you what in any reasonable estimation was ample time to understand and find a way to attend her wedding and still take care of your daughter. I'm sorry, but it really appears as if you're making your sister's, and perhaps her partner's, choices about their wedding instead about you and your daughter. And that worries me a little bit. Please step back and gain some perspective here. It would help. YTA. Your life revolves around your daughter. That doesn't mean anyone else's does or even should. She tried to find you an option, but it really seems like unless they completely capitulate to whatever crazy idea you have, You're determined that nothing else will do. To say that your echo chamber agrees with you isn't the ace you think it is, and I hope you don't. Keep giving your daughter these ideas. That if people don't do what you want, they're evil and don't want or deserve you anyway. That's going to be so hard on your daughter. YTA. This is your sister's special occasion, and you're making it about you. You can't expect people to always prioritize you in every situation. They're prioritizing themselves, as they should, because it's their wedding. YTA. Sounds a lot like you try to make yourself and your daughter the center of attention for your whole family. Even on your sister's wedding day, she told you what was happening and gave you ample time make preparations. Even thought about your daughter enough to make sure there was an option for her, which is honestly going above and beyond already. Also, every wedding is asking your guests to pay with a wedding present. Unless you plan to just go out for a night and eat the meal they paid for.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. AmITheAsshole is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.